everyone, this is Lucy Polgar from Last Bastion, sponsored by Fight Division. I am here with Niamh Kinehan. Am I pronouncing that right? I've just asked like 4 times, I just like double checking. Ahead of the second show, the second instalment of the Hitman Fight League. So this is run by Liam Harrison and Andy Howson. We're here down at the Majestic Gym in Wigan today, just doing a little bit of media and just chatting to some of the fighters. So Niamh, first of all, really nice to see you again. We were just talking about the last time I saw you. So the last time I saw you, you placed the best knockout, the best spinning back elbow I've ever seen in my life. You're just saying you ended up with a swollen elbow from that. Yeah. Talk to us a little bit about, I know that was a while ago, like what's happened since then for you?
So I had that, and then I didn't fight again for the rest of the year. It was quiet. I was supposed to fight, then there was pull out, so ended up being a quiet end to the year. And then what happened? I fought on Super Showdown a few weeks ago, and I won that on points, defending my WBC world title. And then this fight's come up now for June, so just training hard for that. I
love that. So you've been active very recently as well then, which is like obviously good for leading into the Hitman Fight League. Have you seen any of the footage from the first one, any of the fights?
I seen highlights, and I watched a bit, and yeah, it looked good. It looked really good. So I didn't watch any of them, didn't watch it live or anything, but I did watch the fights and it was good. Yeah,
the atmosphere was unbelievable in all the interviews as well. We've got Joe Craven at the side here trying to throw us off, guys. Name and shame, name and shame. So the atmosphere there was amazing, and there was like a really good buzz behind it. Obviously, with it being the second one now, it's just going to get bigger and better because the first one was so successful. So obviously, you have done massive shows before, but there is just a little bit of something different with this one because obviously they're doing the live betting, they're making it a lot more interactive. So how do you feel being a part of a show like that where they're trying to make Muay Thai a little bit more interactive and accessible for everyone?
I think it's going to be really good. Obviously, bowlers have fought there before. It's a really good venue. Obviously, Liam and Andy have fought so many times. They know everything. They know what the fighters want. So, yeah, I think it's going to be really good. There's a really good card so far. And the betting just tops it off, doesn't it? Hopefully, definitely. All my lot can win a lot of money.
Yes, I love that. And talk to us as well then. So you train at Frank's Gym, which is obviously very local. Like, how do you feel like doing on a local show? It must feel better. I was chatting to Joe, who's photobombing us now.
Nobody wants to see you.
So I've just had this conversation with Joe saying like, being a northerner, when you've got the northern fights and you've got the crowd behind you, and there's just that vibe to it. Do you prefer the home shows?
Yeah. I love fighting at home. Like, you can fight anywhere in the world, but you can't take all your people with you, can you? And when you're at home, it's all your supporters. It's just like a double buzz of an atmosphere.
Yeah, definitely. So how long have you known about the fight then? Because obviously there are still cards to be released yet, still fights to be released. How long have you been aware that you're going to be on the card?
I've knew for a little bit now that I was on the card, but I didn't know who my opponent was going to be. And then I think maybe a week or two just before the fight got announced, I knew that was who I was fighting and stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be really good.
Yeah, love that. So speaking of the opponent then, I asked all fighters this question because I'm really curious. Some tend to not want to see anything and just think I'm just got my style and I'm going to adapt as I go. And some like really study the opponent. Where do you sit on that?
I'm not too bothered, to be honest. I mean, I'll have a lot of glimpse, but I think every fighter fights different against their opponent. So I'll have a look at what they're about. And then I'll fight my fight. It's going to be my fight, not their fight, so that's how it is.
So speaking of that, I know I have to go back to that other fight that we saw you in because honestly, I can't tell you guys, if you've not seen it, go on the highlights, it'll be on our Last Bastion page or it's on any of the highlights from Niamh. But the last fight you had was so energetic and so like, well placed, that elbow. Was that something that was planned in the moment, or again was it just reactive because you saw an opening and you turned and landed? Like was that planned or just? No.
We've worked on it. We have worked on it in the gym, and I do like a spinning elbow, but I think because I seen it coming as well, and we'd just done it beforehand, so I think I just threw it, and because she was just coming at me wild with elbows and stuff, so I just seen the timing and then threw it. But it was a home show as well. It was a Frank's Gym show, it was. Honestly, like they are the best shows. Like no matter how big of a show anywhere else is, your home show is all your people. Everybody's fighting together. You're winning together. Yeah, it just made the atmosphere even better. But to land that, that's good.
And it's such a wild shot to throw as well. Like not wild, obviously you placed it absolutely perfectly. It was like placed beautifully. But to get a knockout with that, some fighters tend to play it a little bit more safe and like we'll go for the straight shots and stuff. Will you be still planning on using like that little bit of flair and, you know, not really playing it safe and throwing these you know, more juicy shots?
If I see the opportunity, then I'm gonna throw it. So it just depends on how my opponent is and what they're throwing. And if I see the time, and it's like my head kicks, if I see the timing for that, I'll head kick. But then I like spinning elbow. Anything to get a stoppage, really. We'll see.
So speaking of that, is that what we're aiming for then? Like in your fights, are you going for stoppage?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've had a few fights where it's been points where I should have stopped him and I could have stopped him, but then there's other fights where I've knocked him out. So yeah, I'm always looking for the stoppage, and my next fight, yeah, definitely.
Yes, love that. So talk to us a little bit then about Frank's gym. How does it feel to be, obviously it's a very active gym, there's a lot of fighters in there, like how beneficial is that to be in a gym where you've got plenty of active fighters?
Yeah, it's good. Everybody's a different fighter, but everyone's the same, everyone's tough, everyone, like, you can start from like the ones that aren't fighters that are just there for fitness and stuff, and they're still tough and they'll put it on you. Like, you never really get an easy spar, and no matter how good you are or whatever, it's just a good atmosphere all around.
Yeah. Definitely, it's that northern atmosphere again that we were talking about with the fights and stuff. So you do a little bit of like, I've seen you on the pads and stuff. Are you doing like sort of the one-to-ones whilst you're still doing your fight camp, or do you sort of lessen that off?
Yeah, I still do them, but obviously it's more quiet and I focus on myself more than anybody else. That's the main thing.
Yeah, of course.
But then when I can work around myself, that's what I do.
Yeah. So yeah, because I always wonder that when somebody is obviously a fighter but then also a coach and doing like the classes or doing the one-to-ones and stuff. It's a help and a hindrance, because it's a help, obviously, like you say, everyone in the gym is really fit and really physical, so to be able to spar with them. But then also, if it is your livelihood at the same time, but it's a very energetic job to do what we do, to like be training with people all day. So do you find that does affect your energy levels, and that's why we have to drop it down a little bit?
Not really. I just more focus on myself. Like, I don't really do one-to-ones with fighters. Like, I do, but then I also don't. It's more people that want fitness and stuff like that. So I don't sort of have to put myself into too deep with them. I'm there for an hour. I help them, and then that's it. Yeah.
So and again, that's a help as well. I've had this conversation with fighters before, saying like when you are doing the sort of like, do you know when you get like a very basic beginner and you sort of teaching them just the stance and the 1-2 and like the simple shots, even though some people would think that's a little bit sort of repetitive and a very novice level for you, it's actually really good to keep those fundamentals sharp, because they are things that some fighters, if they're not doing the coaching as well, the very simple things like that can very, very easily get lost because they take them for granted. So you're just constantly working on those fundamentals.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the same with when Frank's doing it in the gym with us as well. We're still going over the same body kick, because it can never be perfect, but you've got to work on it, and you're always going to improve, so you just got to keep repeating things to get better. Yeah,
definitely. Do you know what, I'm going to actually butcher this quote now, but there's a quote in the like the man who practices 1,000 kicks once, something, but if you 1,000. But if you do one kick 1,000 times, so basically butchered that quote, but I'm glad you knew what I was getting at. Is just the repetition on those really simple fundamentals and stuff like that is how you are able to so precisely time things like that spinning back elbow, which was, again, please go and watch it. It was so sick. So really looking forward to watching the fight. Obviously, we were down at the first show and the atmosphere was electric. In the build up to it now, obviously we've got the media day today. What's the next couple of weeks looking like for you? Are you just a case of like head down focus now?
Yeah, so how long is it now? Like 7 weeks maybe?
It's not far out now, is it?
Yeah, just train my ass off for 7 weeks now, and then you'll see another improved me on the night as well.
Just constantly improving. Yeah. I love that. So you've said obviously that you are going for the stoppage. You do want that result. I've seen you live do them really juicy stoppages. So we're really looking forward to seeing the fight live. Thanks so much for chatting to us, and hopefully we'll catch you on the night. Thank you. Cheers.
Here we go.